I know. Call the city council meeting to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Lamore.
Present.
Whitman.
Here.
Grave. Vining. Germaine. Mayor Clark.
Present. I'd ask you all please rise to the invocation. Remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Guide our working together. Give us wisdom to make the right decisions, your understanding to listen to each other, and your compassion to promote the peace and welfare of the residents of this community.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Next item, please.
The next item is the approval of the regular agenda.
City Manager Robinson, any adjustments or amendments?
Adjustments from the administration.
Okay. Looking to council, any adjustments or amendments to the agenda? Seeing none. Councilman Lamore.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
Motion by Councilman Lamore, supported by Councilwoman Stilgrave to approve the regular agenda. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Lamore.
Yes.
Felder. Yes. Whitman. Yes. Stilgrave. Yes. Vining. Yes. Germaine. Yes. Mayor Clark.
Yes. Next item, please.
The next item is the consent agenda, and for approval of payments, item B, the amount is $3,552,204.56, 3552204.56.
Are there any items on the consent agenda that council wishes to have pulled for further discussion? Any items on the consent agenda from council? Seeing none, are there any items on the consent agenda those present here this evening wish to have pulled for further discussion? Any items from those present this evening? Motion? Councilman Felder.
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion that all items on the consent agenda be accepted, placed on file, recommendations carried out, and resolutions adopted.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Felder, supported by Councilman Lamore, that all items on the consent agenda be accepted, placed on file, recommendations carried out, and resolutions adopted. Clerk, please call the roll.
Lamore.
Yes.
Felder. Whitman.
Yes.
Yes. Vining. Yes. Germaine.
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes. Next item, please.
Item is under presentations, communications, and public hearings. Item 4314, the Opportunity Center at ALCC 2023 Fourth Quarterly Report.
Thank you. City Manager Robinson.
As all of you were presented with the quarterly report, if you have any questions, I believe that Stephanie is here to be able to answer any questions you may have.
We have an action item later following these communications, so.
Yes.
Excuse me. Any questions from council regarding the report? I know we had it sent to us earlier, I think, even prior to this meeting. Have an opportunity to view that, so. I see that Stephanie's here, and that knows there's no questions, but if you'd like to say anything, you're welcome to. But if not, we'll move on.
No, I can never.
Past the moment.
I could never pass the opportunity. Honorable Mayor and City Council, I'm Stephanie Kasperbeck, Executive Director at the Opportunity Center. Thank you. We have the Opportunity Center Advisory Council quarterly report for the quarter starting July 1st through the end of September. I know you all have it. I'm not going to read it, but I just wanted to point out a couple really cool things and new things that we're doing at the Opportunity Center since you gave me the opportunity to come and present. So I wanted to talk about our partnership with Elm Avenue Co-working. We're doing some digital literacy classes at the Opportunity Center, both with our seniors and our youth, to introduce them to different things on the computer, to introduce them to new skills enhancements. And that has been extremely popular. We had no idea that people really wanted these classes, and then we started doing it, and Nolan Beamsley has been to the center now at least once, if not twice a week, doing classes on the computer for seniors and kids. So I wanted to point that out. We did have the Fifth Third E-Bus at the Opportunity Center in August. where they came and did financial literacy for people who came through. So we had 48 participants come through. Not only was the e-bus there to do financial literacy, but ProMedica partnered with us as well. And we had some doctors providing some educational information on health and wellness on those days as well. We've been doing a lot of nutrition education, so you'll see under nutrition, we have 3 opportunities that we did in the last quarter for nutrition education. We also partnered with the international organization Souls for Souls, and we got 150 pairs of shoes for kids that we distributed at our back to school fair at the end of the summer. So that was super cool. We're going to be doing that again. We also started a diaper bank. As you know, we do a food pantry once a week, every Monday from 1 to 3. We started to hand out diapers as well. And so we had a very small program, but we helped 58 families with diapers. And I'm super excited to announce that we just got $500,000 to MCOP to do a diaper bank program for the next 4 years. So we're going to be continuing that program on a huge scale and can probably use everybody's help to get all those diapers out to the community for people who need it. And then lastly, under recreation, just want to talk about, we've been branding the Center Youth League, and we started with basketball this summer. As you can see, we had 139 kids participate and 23 volunteer coaches who were part of our Center Youth League basketball. Even though it was pretty hot in the summer, in the gym, everybody had a great time, and we had tons of parent participation. So we're marketing that. Right now we're doing soccer. We have 85 kids participating in youth soccer. We're going to be doing volleyball next, and then we're going to do it all over next year. So that's been really excellent. And we started Joe's ALCC boxing in September. So we have upwards of 25 to 30 kids every night from 4:30 to 6:30, Monday through Friday, at the Opportunity Center. So always very positive for the kids. And we have our fight coming up, as you guys know, on November 18th. So hopefully you all get tickets and come out and enjoy that. So just wanted to update you on a few of those newer things that we're doing at the Opportunity Center, in addition to all the regular things that we've been doing. Any questions?
Councilwoman Vining.
Not a question, but you forgot the best class, the canning class.
That's right.
Canning class is awesome. Just happened this past Saturday, but we did a class during this time too, and Kelly participated in that. So it's wonderful to see the ladies in the kitchen doing their canning as well, for sure.
I think those are great updates. I think it shows a good use of the facility and new programs. I mean, just the canning class, and as the kitchen was put in there, the opportunity for the public to come and experience that and learn some items, and hopefully take that back home with them as well. So it's great. Thank you.
We are only limited by space at this point, so we're super excited for the center project.
Yes, absolutely. There's no other questions? Thanks, Stephanie. It's great to see you as always.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Mr. Robinson, you have another communication, I believe?
Item is the 2023 Summer Tax Collection Memo, and Clerk Lavoy explained that this is something that you normally get in your package, but we make it a communication.
Right, we just submitted it as required by city charter. It's the collection rate, and it's really negligible, the difference between this year and last year. Last year it was 97.3 collected. This year's collection rate is 97.4%. So it's really maintained fairly the same. So so that's all it is. We're just reporting as required by charter.
Very good. Any questions for Clerk Treasurer Lavoy? Seeing none, we'll move on to the next item.
The next item is under council action. It's item 4311, Opportunity Center Utilities Funding 22-23.
City Manager Robinson.
Yes, Mayor and Council, this is where we've sat down and we've worked with Stephanie on dealing with some shortfalls they're having in their utilities funding. And actually Director Cochran or Director Sell would be able to explain what is in that agreement for us to be able to assist them with funding in a shortfall of the of the utilities bill.
All right, Mr. Sell's going to come up first, and then we'll see if Mr. Cochran does, if there's any questions.
Well, I was just gonna go check with Millward.
Oh, there it goes. Okay.
Thank you.
Honorable Mayor and Council, Ed Sell, Assistant City Manager, Finance Director. Yes, so the request is to basically reimburse MCOP $4,308.92 for, it's a long ways away, make sure I got that number right. Yeah, $4,308.92 for their 2022-23 year that ended on September 30th of 23 for utilities costs. When we originally entered into the agreement with MCOP, we were providing $156,000 a year. That was really carried forward from previous agreements that we had in place, but $16,000 of that $156,000 was to be for utilities. And over the years, we've increased that up to $207,000 a year, but of that increase, $8,000 was added for utilities, primarily for water related to the splash pad. But so we're at $24,000 a year that we fund for utilities at this point, and they actually spent that much more than that amount, and so we're just requesting that it be reimbursed at this point. It would require a small budget amendment that would take the funds out of general fund contingency, and that's the request at this point. If you'd like to know the details of the rest of the funding, I have that too, but I'll see if you have that question.
Okay, well, we'll start there. Is there any questions regarding the action item about the additional funding, the amount, or what it's for regarding utilities, or where the funds are coming from? Any questions from Mr. Sell? I don't know if there's any. Okay, I'll start there. I don't know if there's any questions from the operational side with Mr. Cochran, but I think as we move forward, I know that I think it's ever, I'll say, evolving with the Opportunity Center and the LCC as we address not only utilities, but space, all those things. But the utilities, I think, are things that have fluctuated because of not just seasonal, but also how, and the equipment that we have and some of the equipment replacement. And even with the new equipment, well, that's going to have to be adjusted as well. So I think this starts a good foundation for me to know that as we go into future budget years for this, where we're at in those upgrades, updates, or uses, and how we're going to make those all meet. So I think this is, as Stephanie said, with the project is we keep this component in mind as well as we start to look at that space use. But to me, it's the use currently and what the needs are. So, and I know that City Manager Robinson and Mr. Cochran met with Stephanie and yourself and kind of reviewed those things. So I think foundationally we're at a better place to understand that, and as we go forward in the next, working toward the next budget year.
Yeah, I would say even just in the city's buildings last year that utilities were up, especially the natural gas utilities. There was a big price increase there, so it's the same situation across all our buildings.
I didn't even mention the difference in costs, but very good.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Sell.
Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, a motion, Councilwoman Germaini.
I'll make a motion, Your Honor. Item number 4311, move to approve the additional funding to MCOP in the amount of $4,308.92 for 22-23 utilities at the Opportunity Center, and authorize the Assistant City Manager, Finance Director to amend the budget by transferring the same amount from general fund contingency.
The motion by Councilwoman Germaini, supported by Councilwoman Stilgrave on item 4311, the Opportunity Center Utilities Funding for 2022-23. Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes.
Felder? Yes. Whitman?
Yes.
Stilgrave?
Yes.
Vining?
Yes.
Germaini?
Yes.
Mayor Clark? I have no further items this evening, Your Honor.
Okay, we're at council comments, and Councilman Lamore.
Wow. 6:14. It's amazing. I'm not going to be the one that's going to hold us back here. So I just want to wish everybody a lot of luck tomorrow during the voting, all the candidates, give you my best, and remind all the city residents to get out and vote if you have not already done so. That's it. Thank you.
Councilman Felder.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to take a minute to thank everyone from City Hall, department directors and some elected officials who were able to participate in the field trip that we had on the 27th, a couple of weeks back with a class from Meta Montessori, especially Clerk Lavoie, who helped organize the event and reserved all the rooms for it. That was wonderful, and the students really enjoyed it. And then just a reminder to everyone to get out and vote if they have the opportunity tomorrow. That's all I have, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Whitman.
I don't really have a lot. I hope everyone gets out to vote and, or make sure they get their absentee ballot in, one or the other. And I don't know if it's appropriate at this time to say congratulations to the mayor on some changes that will be coming. And I'll let him explain and make the main announcement. But that's really about all I have. Thank you.
Councilwoman Stelgrave.
I also want to echo that, to get out there and vote tomorrow. And don't forget, this week, I think it's Thursday night, is Girlfriend's Night Out, downtown Monroe. That's all I have.
Councilwoman Vining.
No comment other than see you at the polls tomorrow.
Yes, for sure. I just have a couple of comments. I won't be long, but first, I want to remind everybody that Veterans Day is this Saturday. Oh, Councilwoman Germaine, I've done this before because I don't look to the left. Left or I go around the list. I have to look twice. Councilwoman Germaine, you're first, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I want to thank Stephanie for a positive fourth quarter report. As always, you amaze me. I don't know how you get it all done, but you do. You do it all. I want to thank Patrick for getting First Street back and my LET and my passengers. We all thank you. And everybody get out and vote tomorrow. It's going to be a nice, warm day. So please get out and vote and make a difference.
Thank you. My apologies. Once I start that way. I've done this before, and I can't say we won't forget to do it again, but we'll see. So first thing, I'll just say it's Veterans Day on Saturday, November 11th, and as we should, as always, honor our veterans. And if you see them, thank them. And I think of the ladies and the men that serve our country, not only currently but in the past, that we make sure that we recognize the importance of this day. There's also the VFW will have a parade on Saturday at 3 p.m. It's going to start at St. Mary's parking and head south to Jones Avenue. And it is on Saturday at 3 p.m. So hopefully we can join. Next, because we won't meet before again this opportunity, but the Monroe Hometown Holiday Lights, the tree lighting is scheduled for Friday, November 17th at 7 p.m. But it begins earlier than that, a couple hours early. I know there's many partners, the River Raisin Center for the Arts, the County Museum. LET is helping with rides for youth that may not have the opportunity otherwise, from the Opportunity Center, from Greenwood, and I think there's a third one, and Salvation Army. Thank you. So there's going to be a lot of activities. There's several new lighted elements that will be presented this year, and as we start to bring those into the larger square, some of those that have been down the square for a couple of years, we're starting to move those out. There'll be a special placement of lighted elements, and they'll be new at Altrusa Park this year. So we really want to have people that not only for the tree lighting, and whether it's the half hour before, and short time after, but all holiday season long. Because we're really looking through the businesses in the Downtown Monroe Business Network and the Santa and the Igloo that they have Small Business Saturday, other activities that go on through the entire holiday season. We want people to come down, families visiting, come down and take photographs in the square with all the elements that are lit. So there's places to sit, family photos, the photo faces, all the things that are there. We hope that you have the opportunity to share that season long through the beginning of the first of the year. I do want to give a thanks to the committee members that have been very helpful. And Pat Weaver, of course, first, and as always, Jody Egan, who's helped not only with the committee, but also our communications and marketing and putting out the great advertising and posters to to tout the event and on social media, and Clerk Lavoy, who's been very helpful. And then I think of the organizations that are our external partners and their ability to come in and what they're going to do. There'll be a lot of children's activities, and one of our communications director has a relationship with the Imagination Station, and it'll be here right out front of the building for the youth to really learn about that and have some fun. So I want to thank Amy Moore for that, her efforts there. And of course, the last thing I have is to vote. We'd always like to see everybody vote, everybody that's eligible to vote. We know sometimes that it doesn't happen, but how do we can continue to increase the vote? So I hope that everybody takes the election seriously and comes out and votes, and know that you're participating in that fashion if you're not also volunteering on boards and commissions as well. So I'll turn it over to Clerk Councilwoman Councilwoman Whitman made a comment. I think the council might have mentioned it before. I'm not one to speak about myself, but engagement with the Michigan Municipal League this year because of the involvement for all of us. That's why I think we should be engaged with our other organizations, other communities. I was elected as the president of the Michigan Municipal League here this year. That was just a couple weeks ago, and I want to thank the staff that came to the convention, which was very informative and educational, and some of that information is available for council. There were great topics, so hopefully if you haven't seen those and need copies of some of the presentations, I know myself and staff have it, we can pass that along. In fact, I have a couple that are on my list to make sure we forward. So looking forward to the year, not only serving here in the city, but also how we can work together with all of our other communities on a state level and some policy issues, actually. Clerk Lavoy, election.
Yes, I have just a few announcements. It's been a quiet week, and that's it, but a lot of activity around voting. They've a lot of people have come to the counter and turned in their absentee ballots, et cetera. So that's been really great. Just a couple of reminders. The precincts, all of them will be open tomorrow. So vote, if you want to vote in person, vote at your usual precinct, and that information is on our website. And of course, you're always welcome to call or stop in at the clerk's office, because while we've expanded online services, we haven't cut back on the one-on-one personal service. So that's available. We will be in the office probably beginning about 5 a.m., but the building itself opens when the polls open at 7 a.m., and you can vote until 8 p.m. And then if you still have your absentee ballot and you want to turn that in, that's great. Just make sure that it's here at City Hall by 8 o'clock, because we have to be able to turn it into the voting board by 8 o'clock in order for it to count. Other than that, we can no longer issue an absentee ballot that you can leave with. So, and we can only issue absentee ballots tomorrow in cases of emergency. And there are some specific criteria for that. So really, if you have your absentee ballot, you can still vote it, but if you don't have one yet, the way to vote will be to go to the precincts. So that's what we have. And I don't know if anybody has any questions.
See none.
Okay, so we'll see everyone tomorrow.
City Manager Robinson.
I'll be brief as well, because I know everybody wants to get home and be ready for the big day tomorrow. I'd like to echo and congratulate the mayor on becoming the president of the Michigan Municipal League. That's a very large and very important organization in our state, to where it brings the best of everybody together. That comes up, they deal with all of our legislators in Lansing in order to lobby for the things that are important for the small towns and the cities in the state. And I think that for the mayor to have been chosen by the peers there, I think it's a big deal, because he's always involved in the Michigan Municipal League, and he's always about Monroe first. And he brings back information, and he's taught us and the staff the value of us having that kind of information, because it's important when you're up there. It's the dealing with the different people, different cities, who are all many times suffering the same things, and maybe some of their unique strategies of dealing things are very beneficial for us to learn from. So, but I think it's a very big deal, and I congratulate you. I hope all of our residents have gotten a chance to read the new e-newsletter that our communication department has worked hard. It will be coming out twice a month, and I think it's just one more way that we are trying to communicate in every way possible to keep people informed in the city of what is going on and give people, an inside look on how we operate and the other things that are going on within our city. So that's it, and good luck to all of you tomorrow.
I want to make a comment about the news, e-newsletter. There's a lot of effort and time put in this. I know this was in the council goals and objectives, and we had a couple of different processes we went through, and I think we've reached what I think is going to be very informative. One thing I liked about the newsletter as it came out was there's things that were need to know, and there's sometimes they say things that are nice to know, but important to know. And there's Captain Bentley from the fire department is featured in this first edition. And he's featured in there not only because of the work he does here in the city, but again, talk about the employees and the extension they take to be involved. He's a graduate of the Eastern Michigan University Staff and Command. It's those things that put our employees, I'll say, above some others, because they want to be engaged and they want to learn, not from educational wise, but involvement wise. And so that's something that's in there that what somebody think, well, that's kind of nice to know, but actually I think it's a need to know to realize what great employees that we have. So as you go through there's items from that I'm sure came from Mr. Leroy regarding that we talked at a work session on the disconnect program and the importance of that, how it can be done. And then there's the opening letter, of course, and correspondence from our city manager, which I think was very informative and helpful it should be helpful to the residents to understand all that we have and all the good that we are. So please, if there's items that you'd like to see in the future, that, hey, I'd like to learn about this, please send them into the communications director, Jody Egan, or the assistant communication director, Amy Moore, here at City Hall, and we'll start working on that, and maybe we'll see some council members featured in there at some point too. That's, I think I'll stop there. At this point, citizens' comments. Any comments from those present here this evening? Please come forward, state your name, and mindful of the rules of the chamber for 3 minutes. Thank you.
I would be remiss to not spend 3 minutes with my other hat on, Stephanie Kasperzak, the chairperson of Monroe County Network on Homelessness. It is Homeless Awareness Week, and just to give you kind of an update on our homeless statistics that we have here in Monroe County, on any given night in Monroe, we have just over 120 homeless people living in our shelters and on the streets in Monroe. We are so lucky to have a wonderful shelter system across our county that takes care of people, so we don't have a lot of unsheltered people. But over the course of a year, we have over 700 people that we help through our system in the Monroe County Network on Homelessness. As it's Homeless Awareness Week, we kicked off the day last Friday. We recognized some wonderful homeless heroes, so had a great breakfast event at the Opportunity Center. Our Walk for Warmth was this past Saturday. We raised over $13,000 to keep people warm through crisis utility assistance. And if you don't have dinner plans tonight and want to support a good cause, you can go to Buffalo Wild Wings, where a portion of their proceeds will go to the Homeless Network. And then Wednesday is our Project Homeless Connect, which we've been doing for over a decade. So just couldn't pass up the opportunity just to remind everybody it's Homeless Awareness Week, give you a status on our numbers here in Monroe, and invite you out to our wonderful events. So thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie.
I have a question. Yes. The event on Wednesday is
Yes.
upstairs or downstairs?
It's everywhere. Yes, it's both. I think the vendors will be in the gym. Yes. All right, thank you.
Other comments from those present here this evening? See no further comments. We have yet one more item to attend to. Councilman Lamore?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to go into closed executive session for the purpose of attorney-client privilege correspondence.
Motion by Councilman Lamore, supported by Councilwoman Germaini, to go into closed executive session for the purpose of attorney-client privilege correspondence. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Lamore?
Yes.
Felder? Whitman? Steelgrave?
Yes.
Vining?
Yes.
Germaini?
Yes.
Mayor Clark?
Yes.